Umeshonelea kwa mwili. Kutoka hapa mpaka pale juu. So unashonelea kwa mwili?
Iko kwa mwili.
So inakaa hivyo.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Sile wakati tulikuwa tunapishwa tunapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow. Yeah!
We are the full package.
Oh yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Good evening and welcome to the Legends Edition on KBC Channel 1. I am Fayyaz Qureshi. Our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. But first, a quick look at stories making headlines on tonight's bulletin.
The DCI is on ground and they must do very scientific kind of tallying. It's a DNA process that will take quite a number of time.
The government to commence DNA analysis of pupils who perished at the Hillside and Russia Academy fire as agony grows over learners still missing.
I believe that Africa is punching below its weight and that Africa can do better.
Raila Odinga pledges to reposition Africa in the global arena if he clinches the AU Commission's chairmanship.
Have enhanced our surveillance and screening at the ports of entry. And that is why, that's what we have done to ensure that the spread of this disease does not get to move so quickly.
Discovery of the first locally transmitted Mpox case heightens surveillance at border points. And a group of women in Machakos weave their way out of poverty. Welcome back. The government is set to commence DNA analysis of pupils who perished in dormitory fire at Hillside and Russia Academy. However, 2 days after the inferno, it is still not clear how many learners remain unaccounted for. The government spokesperson Isaac Maura says the only confirmed number is of deceased pupils, which stands at 18.
2 days after fire razed down a dormitory that housed 156 boys at Hillside and Russia Academy and killed at least 18 learners, parents whose kids are yet to be accounted for continue camping outside the school, hopeful that they will reunite with their children. Outside the school, the Red Cross and the Ministry of Health have provided at least 63 counsellors to provide psychosocial support to the traumatized pupils and parents.
Na wakawa sasa tumejaribu kuwafanya, na hapo ndio tuliona mtoto wetu hata yeye alikuwa aliweza kutoka. To be thank God for that. Tulifurahi sana kwa maana tulimuona akiwa hai, hakuwa na jeraha lolote, na wengine hata kama wale walinasoma nao kwa darasa moja, wengine hatukuweza kuwaona.
Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura and Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba visited the scene but could not reveal the number of learners accounted for so far.
The children have now been reported as of today, over 20 of them, but these figures are still preliminary because the process is ongoing, especially because the DCI is on ground and they must do very scientific kind of tallying. It's a DNA process that will take quite a number of time, a long time, I beg your pardon. So please, a number of days. So don't really rush to make conclusions about the numbers, because at this point in time, we cannot really say how is it. The only numbers that we are confirming to you, members of the fourth estate, is 18.
And we have policies in place. We have school safety standards that were passed in 2020 that schools are supposed to adhere to. The investigation that is being undertaken will inform us whether there was compliance with those rules and regulations.
Well, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on Friday indicated that 27 pupils had been admitted in hospitals, while 70 remain unaccounted for. Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura was unable to give the number of pupils unaccounted for, but said only 4 had been admitted in hospitals.
Efforts are focused to ensure that all of the injured receive the necessary medical attention, and they have helped facilitate transfers and have airlifted those in critical conditions. Unfortunately, one of the boys, we lost him, unfortunately, the one who went all the way to KNH.
The government is now set to commence DNA analysis for identification of the bodies at Narumoro Level 4 Hospital.
Actually, today on the ground we have the government pathologist ambao amefika Jason Odwar. Saa hii they are doing very, very serious analysis kwa ile scene, and the Monday we realized that we have zeroed in on Narumoro Hospital, mahali ambapo hizi further analysis taweza kufanywa pale Narumoro, and on Monday we shall be having all the parents wale ambao wameathirika so that they can be together in the process of the analysis of whatever is there in the scene.
On Sunday, the community will hold interdenominational prayers in memory of the deceased.
Kenya's candidate, Africa Union Commission chairmanship candidate Raila Odinga, now says Africa will claim its rightful position under his leadership if he wins the February 2025 elections in Addis Ababa. The former Prime Minister, who spoke in Bondo, Siaya County, said that Africa must be treated with the respect it deserves. At the same time, ODM leaders vowed Raila remains their leader and there was no vacuum in the party leadership.
After jetting back from China, where he, together with President William Ruto, met several African heads of state and government to drum up support for his African Union Commission ambitions, Raila Odinga on Saturday hosted the Sakwa Wendo community delegation from Migori in Bondo in Siaya County. Raila saying Africa has been punching below its weight, adding that it's time for the continent to claim its rightful position as an equal partner to the rest of the world.
I've got good reasons why I want to go to Africa, and I've actually put them down very well in a brochure which will be made available to you people. But I believe that Africa is punching below its weight and that Africa can do better. What Africa can do, how Africa has been undermined, how Africa has been exploited, but we don't want to continue to be whining.
Citing the recent visit by African president to China, Raila said it ought to be the vice versa.
I have seen, African leaders moving around. You see, like I've just come from FOCAC, China, Africa, where over 40 African heads of state were. But I was saying, why should African leaders go to China? Chinese are the ones who should be coming to Africa. So these are some of the things that we want to reverse.
ODM leaders in attendance, including ODM chairperson Gladys Wanga, Governor James Orengo of Siaya, Ochilo Ayako of Migori, and Anyang' Nyong'o of Kisumu, vowed that Raila Odinga will remain their leader despite his ambition to become the next chairman of the African Union Commission.
Tunaweza kufanya kazi na wengine, lakini chama chetu lazima tuilinde na tuidumishe.
The step that you have taken together with your younger brother, President Ruto, to engage is the way to go. Let us have, at the national platform, engagement on the basis of political parties, because we cannot engage as a tribes.
I know that as Raila is still alive, whether at AU or whatever, but he's still there. And so it is just a phone call away. We can have Zoom. What stops us from having Zoom meetings? We can have Zoom meetings and get his advice and move forward.
They further discouraged conversation rotating on succession politics within the ODM party. Give us minor Legends Edition.
The Ministry of Health has intensified surveillance at all entry points in the county to ensure early detection of the Mpox disease and to prevent any further spreading. The announcement came a day after the first case of locally transmitted Mpox disease was reported in the country. The Public Health Principal Secretary, Mary Muthoni, has maintained that the number of confirmed cases still currently stands at 5, with 2 of the patients already recovered and discharged from the hospital.
Speaking at Kutu's St. Paul SEK Diocese in Kirinyaga County during a meeting with the clergy and community health promoters, PS Muthoni assured the public that the situation is under control and that there is no need for panic.
2 who already have been treated and discharged. We still have the 3 who are in hospital, and we are looking forward to see them healed and go back to their families.
As part of the response to the spread of Mpox disease, Muthoni said that the Ministry of Health has boosted its inspection process at border points to prevent any further spread of the disease.
We have enhanced our surveillance and screening at the ports of entry. And that is why, that's what we have done to ensure that the spread of this disease does not get to move so quickly. We are also advising people that it is important to protect yourself. Stay away from somebody who has signs and symptoms of Mpox.
And on the Thursday night fire at the Hillside and Darasha Academy, PS Muthoni said that the ministry has dispatched an emergency response team to aid in tracing the children who are yet to be united with their families.
As a Ministry of Health, we have been able to activate our emergency operations center. We have been able to activate our teams, disaster management team, to go to the ground and ensure that they are collaborating with the team, multi-agency teams that are there.
Doreen Arange for Legends Edition.
The African Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, in collaboration with the Africa Society for Laboratory Medicine, ASLM, have unveiled a robust strategy that will enhance the surveillance of antimicrobial resistance, AMR, which is a critical problem in the continent. The strategy will entail rigorous data collection, data processing, information, and knowledge sharing to inform policy and behaviors with the view of taming the runaway antimicrobial resistance. During the unveiling of the master plan dubbed African Antimicrobial Resistance AMR Surveillance Blueprint in Nairobi County on Friday, Nkobile Ndlovu, the Chief Executive Officer ASLM, equally underscored the centrality of a robust laboratory infrastructure across the continent to win the battle against AMR. AMR occurs when microorganisms such as bacteria, fungi, viruses and parasites change in ways that render the medications used to cure the infections ineffective.
These pathogens that are actually resistant to the available drugs. So where do you get that data? You need strong infrastructure of laboratory services. You need labs that are able to test. That's the beginning. If we want to understand the burden in each country of antimicrobial resistance, we need strong laboratory systems and services. We need investments to be put to strengthen laboratory systems, strengthen testing that is happening so that we can understand the burden of antimicrobial in many of these countries.
Residents of Homa Bay town have voiced their concerns over a persistent foul smell emanating from a local sewer company located near the lakeside. Residents and business establishments in the affected area have raised complaints about health risks and declining air quality due to pollution. As Frederick Persayo reports, the frustrations are from the slow response in addressing the matter.
Garbage, sewer with algae and protruding sewer lines paints a picture of what the residents are being predisposed to. How about the stench?
Inanuka sana, hata wakati wa kazi tunasikia harufu mbaya sana.
Waterborne diseases are lurking at their doorsteps amid the risk of their piped water being contaminated.
Tunasikia mbaya kabisa kwa sababu neno la sewage imesumbua sana. The air that we are getting from that sewer line is not good. And yet our country government, I think the environmental and sanitation is being devolved into the county system.
This situation is taking a toll on businesses in the area.
Natakana kama sasa hivi wanatengeneza vitu kama mahali watu wanapumzika karibu na ziwa hapo na kuna sewage hapo karibu. Hatuoni kama hiyo environment inakuwa safi kwa watu kukaa.
Pia hata watalii, hata wale wanatuletea kazi hapa ma customers hawasikii mzuri kulingana na hiyo harufu. Na wenyewe tuko CBD.
They demanded that the Homa Bay Water and Sanitation Company deals with the mess. The company's general manager Tom Nyenje assured the residents that they are attending to the matter.
The public will be involved through public participation and their views will be collected. So once that is done, that general area, I believe, can be modified into a very nice lakefront where people can go with their families and have a good time.
Parsai Frederick, Legends Edition.
A leading cable manufacturer in the country has embarked on sensitizing locals in the coast region on the importance of using high-quality and certified electrical cables in a bid to prevent electrical short circuits and fires in homes. Speaking during a roadshow organized by East Africa Cables in partnership with Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, the company's commercial manager, Gerald Gitao, urged the public to be cautious when purchasing electrical cables, emphasizing the need of selecting certified and genuine products in the market. During the roadshow, the company showcased various types of cables and conducted demonstrations on how to identify genuine products.
The main agenda ni kuelimisha customers out there the need for quality, the need for safety, and the need for using quality and standard materials. So in East Africa Cable, you will use the latest technology, our modern machines, and make sure that we conform to precision, the precision according to international standards. That is, if a cable is required to be 1.5 in diameter, the technology that we use to make sure that that's what we do. Niko na methods za protect customers. We call it scratch and verify. Kwa kila cable ama roll ya nyaya za East African Cable, tuna make sure we protect customers by ensuring they can confirm the genuine product by scratching and verifying.
Tumepata challenges tofauti kwenye electricals, especially wakati unapata substandards goods, but since East African Cables ziko kwa market, hatujawahi kupata challenges yoyote ya kusupply cables kwa wateja wetu.
Recommend na naambia wale ambao hawajui kutumia hiyo waya watumie, mtu ajue kwa hiyo kitu amemaliza shida ya nyumba yake milele.
Basket weaving is one art women from the Kamba region are well known for. However, for a group of them in Katangi in Yatta sub-county in Machakos County, their lives have changed for the better through the mastery of this art and crowned with some business acumen facilitated by a local non-governmental organization. Our reporter Christian Matunda reports on how a rather traditional practice is making inroads to international markets.
Basket weaving is more than just an age-old craft. For some, it's a means to build a future, support families and create opportunities. Here in Machakos, the strength and resilience of these artisans is evident in their work. We delve into the stories of women who have woven not just baskets, but the fabric of their own success. What began as a cherished tradition passed down through generations has become a cornerstone of their entrepreneurial journey.
Mambo ya kushona tulianza 2016 na imetupeleka mbali sana kwa sababu wanawake wengi wamejiendeleza sana, wamesomesha watoto kwa kuwa wazee wamewaacha, wengi wao wamewaacha, they have failed in their responsibilities. So wanawake ndio wame take over.
Their passion to weave has enabled them to come out of difficult situations and eradicate economic dependency. Joyce Ndenya, a mother of 3, says life was unbearable for her and her family before she grasped the skill of weaving.
Tangu nilipoanza hiyo kazi ya kushona, sikuwa hata na kitu. Kama uchumi ilikuwa chini, nilikuwa na baba watoto na kibarua yake nipata kupotea, ni jua kali. Sasa ikatumbidi maisha yetu iwe ngumu. But nilipoanza hiyo kazi ya kushona, maisha yangu ikabadilika, ikanibidi nitie bidii nishone vizuri na nishone haraka, kitu iko na quality, ichukuliwe, niletewe pesa.
Hizi mbuzi ni katika zile tumebenefiti nazo.
For Penina Mweni, a renowned artisan, weaving has enabled her to diversify her income streams, venturing into soap making as well as goat and chicken rearing.
Kapewa pesa kama zawadi kutoka kwa 10 by 3 nikapewa 27,000 na 8. Hizo pesa nikaenda Nairobi, nikatrainiwa kutengeneza baso. Alafu nikakuja nikaanza hiyo kazi. Hiyo kazi nimefanya imenipea pesa, hata nikafikiria kuanza hii nyumba yangu. Hii nyumba yangu nimejenga na hizo pesa za sabuni. Pia mimi niko na makuku katika hii boma yangu. Nasaidia hata wajukuu wangu pesa za shule kutokana na hiyo kazi yangu pia ya kiondo. Hata watoto wangu wamefurahia, hata mtoto wangu bibi ya kijana wangu amejaribu, ameingia katika group kwa sababu ameona vile inatusaidia.
With the income earned from basket weaving and soap making businesses, she was able to build a home for her family.
Kwa kulingana na hiyo kikundi, upande wangu mimi kama mimi ndio mume wake, mimi wanafurahia sana kulingana na vile wanaendelea na kazi yao. Na ningesema wale wengine akina mama ambao hawajashikana wajiunge na vikundi kama hiki. Manake mimi nimeona uzuri wake. Na tangu mke wangu aingie kwa hiki kikundi na waanze, simumeona hata nyumba yangu imepandika iko na uso mpya.
In partnership with 10x3 organization, the women have found market globally, which has inspired them even more.
10x3 organization is based in 7 countries spread across Africa and the Asia region. And the goal of the organization is to empower women and to alleviate poverty and improve their livelihoods. Here in Kenya, in particular, we have 8 groups with over 500 artisan women. The concept behind the name 10x3 entails each time the women work, we encourage them to make at least 10 products. And out of these 10 products, we pay them prosperity wages. We follow up with them. We empower them to ensure they have 3 backup businesses. This business can be in any area. It can be poultry keeping, it can be animal rearing, it can be farming, it can be even a retail shop, anything that they can do to earn them money.
Community workshops and training sessions are vital in this transformation. By sharing knowledge and skills, these women empower one another to turn their crafts into successful businesses.
Kama community leader, nikitembea huku kwa vikundi huwa ninawahimiza waendelee na kujifunza kushona. Juu wengine hawa wa Gen Z, most of them hawajui kushona. Tumeanza kuwafunza juu tumeona inasaidia sana.
Through the art of basket weaving, these women have not only improved their financial status, but have also created a ripple effect of empowerment in their communities. They are redefining their roles, creating opportunities and inspiring others with their resilience and creativity. In every woven basket, there is a story of transformation, hope, and a brighter future. For Channel 1 News, reporting from Katangi in Machakos County, I'm Christine Matunda.
Right, it's time for a quick break and we'll be back in a short while. Just stay with us.
Siamini. Amini usiamini, Holiday Bonanza ni ya kila mtu na zawadi zitakufikia mahali popote. Dial *570#, chagua option 4 na zawadi kibao zinakungoja. Ikiwa kila wiki kuna 250,000 Kenyan shillings za kushindaniwa. Ni *570# pekee, option 4, tushinde.
Is the second leading cause of cancer deaths among women in Kenya.
What cancer does is your normal cells grow and outgrow. They proliferate, grow really, really fast, you know. Imagine like when your tea is boiling and it just flames up.
Welcome back. Kenya will benefit from Chinese and American investors who are now targeting to put industries worth billions of shillings in the country. The president of the American Chinese CEOs Society, Robert Sun, says Kenya has a huge potential to become an industrialized country and reduce its reliance on the agriculture sector. This comes in the wake of President William Ruto's visit to China to attend the African-China Summit, where the Chinese government committed to invest up to $60 billion in African countries. Tilio Marco with more.
For the better part of this week, President William Ruto has been in China to attend the China-Africa Cooperation Summit, a forum that focuses on improving the partnership between Africa and China. During his tour, the president attended the China-Africa Entrepreneurs Conference, where he advocated for increased Chinese investments in Kenya's infrastructure, healthcare and technology areas.
We have, with the support and funding of China under BRI, completed 600 kilometers of standard gauge railway. We have completed phase 1 of Lamu Port. We have also completed a modern oil terminal in the port city of Mombasa, the expressway, and we have also completed thousands of kilometers of road connecting rural to urban Kenya, farms to markets, and transporting raw materials to manufacturing industries.
While this was happening in Beijing, here in Nairobi, an African chapter of the American Chinese CEO Society was launched with an aim of having more investors in Kenya, especially targeting the manufacturing sector.
Kenya is still an agricultural country. You import a lot of products. So products made here using Kenyan labor force and some material and all the other resources then go to US market. You'll get duty free. And the same thing for the EU, 27 countries in Europe. So Kenya has a treaty to get the benefits. So this is a great, runaround to get and rebuild more business.
However, entrepreneurs feel that the government needs to do more in establishing policies that are friendly to international investors.
When the foreigners register their businesses here, we would like that the government specify a direct rule that local people must be in the shareholding ownership of the companies, so that way we can move forward as a people as well.
All I wish is that the Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, taxes to be more sensible. What we're facing, especially in the car imports business, is that taxes are not sensible. The things which do not make sense. That is all that we're asking the government.
A report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics released in July this year indicates a substantial drop in direct investment in Kenya from China, with statistics indicating that Beijing's investment in Kenya fell by more than a third over the last 3 years, yet investments over the same period from the United States of America increased slightly from 7.1% to 7.4%. Tilio Marco for Legends Edition.
Machakos Town Member of Parliament Caleb Mule is calling on the government to create a task force that will assess safety measures put in place by schools across the country to ensure the safety of learners. This comes amid increased cases of arson attacks in schools. This and other stories in the county's roundup.
Speaking during a fundraiser at St. Ignatius Kiandili Secondary School in Kalama, the legislator highlighted the need for having a task force that could provide recommendations to address arson attacks and the safety of all learners.
Tukuwe na task force ambayo itaenda kwa mashule zote iangalie security ya wanafunzi wetu, especially in the dormitories.
And the Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons, Nicholas Maswai, has ordered prisons in the country to set aside land for the building of mosques and churches as part of spiritual reforms in the institutions.
Spiritual nourishment is part of mental wellness. We are trying to enhance it in every sector of our work. Every section we are trying to have those mental willingness.
Elsewhere, the National Border Association of Kenya, during a meeting with security officials at Emali Township in Makueni County, has called on the government to address and provide a lasting solution to the increased cases of motorbike theft and murder of border operators in the county.
Inspector General of Police, tuweze kuona kwamba border patrol ambayo iko pale wanatumia mbinu gani kuona zile pikipiki ambazo zinatoka Kenya zikivuka, haswa zile zinapita usiku. Ni criteria gani ambayo watatumia kuhakikisha kwamba wana minimize hiyo movement ya hizo mapikipiki ya kwenda huko usiku.
Finally, a 22-year-old Dennis Echang from Busia County, who was diagnosed with kidney and liver failure, is appealing for help from the government and well-wishers to help raise 2 million for specialized operation at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret.
Nimetumia pesa mingi sana kwa hizi madawa, so that naomba serikali kama inaweza nisaidia. Juzi imenilemea tena, nikaenda hospitali wakaniandikia madawa nikameza, lakini bado tu still sioni changes, but naomba serikali nisaidie.
Martini Maslin for Legends Edition.
Right, Topi Lambila is all set with the latest in sports. Over to Topi Lambila.
Yeah, thank you very much. As you've been away quite a bit, and welcome back. You're looking as healthy as a fiddle. Welcome now for the sports. I'm Topi Lambila, and now the national women's netball team beat defending champion Singapore 61-33 to win the Mixers Nations Cup final at the OCBC Arena in Singapore. The first quarter of the highly charged match ended 16-9 in favor of Kenya. It was a closer contest in the second quarter, but Kenya's athleticism and physical presence ensured they extended their advantage to 30-20 at the interval. Kenya, who played without substitutions, dominated the third quarter, outscoring their opponents 15-6 to take an 18-goal advantage before closing out their victory. The win was important to Kenya, who are unranked just 5 years ago. The Mixers Nations Cup gave Kenya an opportunity to improve their rankings and qualify for the 2026 Commonwealth Games.
Counts down, and the Divas celebrate a debut Nations Cup and an enormous Mixers Nations Cup 2024.
And it was the end of the road for Team Kenya in Paris Paralympics when para-cyclist Kennedy Ogada and his pilot Oscar Dennis failed to finish their B1 category road race. The pair, who had finished 11th at the time trial on Wednesday, bowed out of the race after 6 laps due to exhaustion. They had covered 85.2 kilometers at the scheduled 128-kilometer competition in 2 hours, 33 minutes and 02 seconds. Ogada was visually impaired, and Dennis ended up being ranked 10th overall. Tristan Bangma from the Netherlands was crowned champion after dethroning fellow countryman Vincent Shore for the Paralympics title. Bangma conquered the tough course in 2 hours, 55 minutes, 10 seconds.
He is going to collect himself a 3rd gold medal in Paris. Arms up and celebration for Tristan Bangma and Patrick Boss as they take the gold medal just ahead of his teammate Vincent Descure and Timo Franzen. And it's
now for continental soccer matters, Harambee Stars tactician Engin Firat says poor officiating denied his charges maximum points in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match against Zimbabwe at the Mandela National Stadium in Uganda. Firat also noted that the players did not execute well the given instructions and urged them to stay focused ahead of their second match against Namibia on Tuesday next week. in South Africa. The match will be broadcast live on KBC Channel 1 from 7 p.m.
Very simple to explain. In the last match, he scored 3 goals against Zimbabwe. So we couldn't close this. Michael is a special player. So that's a reality. So like I said, for me it's counting very simple. For us now, it's this moment 0-0 is not the result we wanted. We wanted to win. But the reality in this group is only Cameroon has home matches. All other teams have no home match. So this means every match have a new history. This means in every match you can get 3 points.
From Scrabble, Willie Mwangi has taken the lead in the Machakos Scrabble tournament that began today in the county with more than 100 players, including 51 students in action. The tournament is one among a series of tournaments that will earn player slots in the East Central South Africa Scrabble Championships qualifiers set for early next year, with only 25 players booking a ticket to represent Kenya at the continental event. After competitive day one, Willie Mwangi is sitting at the top of the players' table ahead of David Kimani and Stanley Njoroge, who are second and third respectively. Cecilia Ruto is the best lady, sitting in position 19 ahead of Wenwa Akinyi, who is 21st on the table. Kenya won the title for the best Scrabble country in East, Central and South Africa at the last event held in Botswana in March this year. Let's take a look. Now, the National 7th Circuit leaders, Kenya Harlequins, are on course to add their points tally after advancing to the quarterfinals of the Driftwood Sevens in Mombasa. The league leaders won their first 2 matches against Nakuru RFC and Mwamba, whom they beat 24-0 and 31-10 respectively, to remain top in their pool with a superior goal difference over Cabras. The defending champions secured a massive 24-0 win over Nakuru RFC before they beat Mwamba 7-5 to book their quarter-final spot. KCB also won their 2 matches against Kenyatta University's Black Blood, whom they beat 19-5, and host Mombasa Sports Club, whom they beat 39-5 to advance to the quarterfinals. In other matches, Menengai Oilers lost 7-12 to the Nondescripts, while Strathmore Leos battled to a 12-all draw against Zetech University. The Driftwood Sevens comes to the end to an end on Sunday at the Mombasa Sports Club.
Hii ndo awamu ya 5 ya circuit, ambayo ya 6 itakuwa Nakuru next week na ndo ya mwisho. Kwa hivyo competition iko juu na tumeona teams zinajizatiti kupata ushindi. Kwa hivyo ningependa kuwasisitiza mafans mjione, kwa sababu weather pia imekubali.
Japan-based Kenyan athlete Bedan Karoki is among the elite athletes who are expected to compete at the 3rd edition of the Nairobi City Marathon tomorrow, with this year's event attracting 15,000 participants across the 4 categories. Major roads will be closed from midnight around the CBD to pave way for the marathon.
34-year-old finished 3rd in the 2017 London Marathon and is tipped to give other local and international athletes a run for their money on Sunday. Registration for the 42-kilometer marathon and the 6-kilometer fun race closed today, while the half marathon and the 10-kilometer race registration was closed yesterday after attaining the requisite number of participants. The winners of the Nairobi City Marathon tomorrow will pocket 3.5 million Kenyan shillings, while the first runners-up will get 2.2 million Kenyan shillings and the second runners-up 1.5 million Kenyan shillings. The marathon race will start at 6:45 a.m, followed by the half marathon at the 7:30 a.m, while the 10-kilometer race will begin at 9 a.m. and conclude the 6-kilometer fun race at 10 a.m. Major roads in and out of the CBD will be closed from midnight to 2 p.m. tomorrow, and they include Bunyala Road, Uhuru Highway, Harithuku Road, Kimanthi Street, Taifa Road, Hindrom Road, and Simba Street. Some sections of the Waiyaki Way, University Way, Kenyatta Avenue, City Hall Way, Arambe Avenue, Processional Way, Parliament Road, Mamangina and Koinange Street, and Expressway will also be closed to the public. The marathon, which was launched in 2022, has been certified by the Association of International Marathon and Distance Races. Daniel Mwendwa, Legends Edition.
Now, how would you fancy this? Securing basic education scholarship just by playing cricket? Well, that is what the Obuya Cricket Academy is offering youngsters across the country. The Obuya Cricket Education Program will see children from humble backgrounds who are willing to take up the sport of cricket get their school fees paid from primary to secondary education. Let's take a listen.
After 20 years of running the Junior Cricket Development Program, the Obuya brothers through the academy are taking their development agenda a notch higher by gifting children from humble backgrounds a chance at education as they play the sport of cricket.
One of it is about education, and the education bit is about Collins's t-shirt number 27. So this year our target is to see if we can fund 27 kids, yes, to be part of the program. And then every year we fund 27 kids with education. But in terms of sport, we are looking to grow our numbers. If we can get into all 47 counties, 500 kids from every county, I think we have achieved whatever we want to achieve.
With the time frame of 4 years set by the brothers to see their cricket education program spread across all the 47 counties, 15 children from 7 counties have already benefited in the first year, and by the end of 2025, the initiative intends to cover 20 counties.
We ventured into the last 4 years. We ventured with Safal Foundation, and they've really come partners to us to see how can we make it grow in terms of a kid who is very good in sports, but we still support him in education. And that's why you see we had kids who are not very good in sports, but we still fund their education. And that's what the program is all about.
The program is driven with support from the Australian High Commission and Safal MRM, among other sponsors, who today gifted the academy with playing equipment at the Hodari Boys Club in Nairobi.
The beautiful thing about cricket is that there's a viewership around the world, and so getting these grassroots right, if you get the kids right, if you get the pathways right, so you can develop the talent from school kids through to age groups through to national. You get that talent right, then it's competitive around the world and you get lots of viewers, and that's how it works. I think if you invest in the grassroots and get the pathways to professionalism right, the rest all comes into play.
The equipment will benefit junior players, especially from Vihiga and Busia, where the development program is slowly gaining momentum.
Young people are facing a lot of challenges in this country, and sport will help us to deter them from getting involved in many antisocial activities, because with sports, young people can now channel their energy into the right places.
This is a nice beginning for me and for Hodari Boys Club as we grow multiple different sports. Also rugby, hopefully one day, and basketball, we have that on the other side. So we're just growing multiple sports, yeah.
More than 600 children are expected to benefit from the cricket education program at the end of the 4 years.
Now, the game of floorball is slowly growing its roots in Kenya. And just recently, a Kenyan team was selected to represent the country at the Winter Special Olympics due to take place in March next year in Turin. But what exactly is floorball? My question, and I believe the question on the lips of many others. Let's take a look.
Floorball is a type of hockey that is played on hard court with 5 players and a goalkeeper in each team. It is played with 96 to 105.5 centimeter long sticks and a 70 to 72 millimeter diameter, and with a plastic ball with holes in it. Matches are played in 3 20-minute periods. It is played indoors on a rink whose size can officially vary from 18 to 20 meters wide to 36 to 40 meters long, and which is surrounded by 50 centimeter high enclosed boards with rounded corners. The goals are 160 centimeter wide and 115 centimeter high. Their depth is 65 centimeters and are placed 2.85 meters from the end of the nearest boards. Face-off dots are marked on the center line. Dots are also marked 1.5 meters from both sides of the rink on the goal line's imaginary extensions. The dots do not exceed 30 centimeters in diameter. Typical equipment for a floorball player consists of a stick, a pair of shorts, a shirt, socks, and indoor sports shoes. Players may wear shin guards, eye protectors, and protective paddings for vital areas, although most do not. Protective eyewear in some countries is compulsory for junior players. A floorball stick is short compared with the one for ice hockey. The maximum size for a stick is 114 centimeters. As a stick cannot weigh any more than 350 grams, floorball sticks are often made of carbon and composite materials. The blade of the stick can either be right or left, which indicates which way the stick is supposed to be held from the player's point of view. A floorball weighs 23 grams and its diameter is 72 millimeters. It has 26 holes in it, each of which are 10 millimeters in diameter. Floorball was invented in Sweden in the late 1960s, with the basic rules established in 1979 when the first floorball club in the world was founded in Sweden. Official rules of the game were first written in 1981. While the International Floorball Federation has 75 members, the game is most popular in the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Latvia, Norway, Sweden, and Switzerland. It's gaining popularity in Australia, New Zealand, India, Canada, Germany, the United States, Kenya, Ghana, and the United Kingdom. It was included in the World Games for the first time in 2017 in Poland, where Sweden became the first team to win a gold medal. There are more than 400,000 registered players worldwide, up from around 300,000 registered in 2014.
Well, thank you very much, Bax, for that very educative piece. I am educated. Now, Kenya under-18 boys volleyball team assistant coach Geoffrey Omondi says the proper structures Kenya has the capacity to compete and register good results at the international stage. The former KCB men's volleyball team player said Kenya's performance at the Africa under-18 volleyball championships in Tunisia was a clear testament Kenya has talented players at the junior level.
Geoffrey Omondi, who doubles up as Trailblazers coach, believes proper structures will guarantee Kenya's participation in all age group competitions. Omondi said strong junior teams will ensure Kenya also performs well at the senior level.
Not to forget, that is the beginning, because these boys have shown that at the younger age, at the age group stages, we can always make it to the... Therefore, I would request the Kenya Volleyball Federation to always think about the juniors, because that is where all sports begin. And from that level, if I look at the African competition, we have an easier chance of qualifying for the World Championship through the age group competitions. We should not only concentrate on Malkia strikers and Wafalme, we should look at the age groups. It will open up ways for us much faster and with better results. And this team again will be able to feed the Malkia strikers and feed the Wafalme defenders.
The tactician called on the Kenya Volleyball Federation to shift focus to nurturing upcoming junior players. The Kenya under-18 boys volleyball team finished 4th behind Algeria, Egypt and winners Tunisia in the African Nations Volleyball Championship in Tunisia. The top 3 teams in each gender qualified for the World Championship.
Ni zawadi za kila wiki, 100,000 kila wiki, 250,000 kila wiki. Uamuzi ni wako. Sasa Lutomoto kwenye holiday bonanza hii inakuletea game mpya kupitia star 570 hash option 4 na ujishindie up to 250,000 Kenyan shillings ukiwa nyumbani. Na draw ni ya kila wiki, na kupata tikiti yako ni kupitia star 570 hash pekee option 4, na tikiti yako ikitufikia inaingia ndani ya drum.
Jana iko huko.
Useme tu umekuja kuniona alafu unacheza chini.
Unajua Jackie yuko amechizi, ni venye tujuange akimeza dawa.
Really? Thank you, Jen. I hope I'm not interrupting anything here.
Nini umempatia?
What do you mean?
You know that man talks more about you than our relationship.
Oh, really?
Mark yana hata ubishi. How comfortable are you here?
Mwanaume anapenda mtu mwenye anamsikiza, anamuelewa na anamuheshimu.
I am not stupid. Sawa. I know when I'm being shortchanged.
This is crazy.
You need to put your mood swings on check.
Hebu tukabunge kidogo.
Welcome back. Richard Ngichabe is the new chairperson with the Kenya Karate Federation after beating his opponent Paul Mukoba in a highly contested elections held at the Nyayo National Stadium on Saturday. In the first vice chairperson position, Henry Nabea beat Vincent Wanyama, while Ben Otieno beat Elizabeth Muthoni to take the second vice chairperson seat. James Gikonyo will be the Secretary General, while Faith Siombwa will serve as the Assistant Secretary General. Moses Muthanga and J.D. Mutua were voted in as the Treasurer and Vice Treasurer respectively, while Lucy Korobia is the new gender representatives. Frederick Kenyatta, Easton Kinywa, Zima Beatrice and Christopher Ouma will serve as committee members. The new leaders will take up their roles for a term of 4 years. Let's take a look. Now, residents of Mukuthu area in Mwingi West constituency have celebrated a young girl from Mukuthu Primary School for winning a gold medal in the East African Games, which were recently held in Uganda. Speaking during an interview, Regina Munanu Kitheka promised to do even better in future with her eyes set on the Olympics. Her victory has seen Christine Makawe, a former athlete and wife to Kenyan decorated marathoner, promise to pay her fees and help her to go further. Regina clocked a best time of 12.9 seconds to win the gold medal in the 100 meters for Kenya. Let's take a listen. Well, looks like you have a snack on that. Thank you, the director. Me to go on to the second story, which is on the international scene. Efin Evans's campaign of making it to the podium at the Acropolis rally in Greece hit a snag after he rolled on Saturday afternoon with Ot Tanak narrowly escaping an identical fate. Thierry Neuville leads the rally going into the final day tomorrow.
Rear corner, the Spaniard.
Thierry Neuville has taken a significant lead at Echo Acropolis Rally Greece after Saturday's rounds that saw Elfyn Evans roll and Ot Tanak narrowly escape the same fate. Approaching a very slow and tight downhill right-hand hairpin, a wheel became caught in a rut and tipped Evans' Toyota GR Yaris Rally 1 onto its roof. After stopping to allow teammate Sebastian Ogier through to avoid dust impacting the 8-time world champion's visibility, Evans proceeded to the finish at a reduced pace, losing 5 minutes in total. A few minutes later, Ot Tanak, running in 4th place, almost suffered exactly the same fate.
Good time as well.
Championship leader Thierry Neuville extended his advantage over Hyundai teammate Dani Sordo, who eventually dropped out with a delaminated tyre on the first pass. Gregor Munster suffered an issue on special stage 9 that resulted in retirement for the day for the M Sport driver.
So we'll be intrigued to see how that looks later, and through the ruts again from Formo 3.4.
Now we take again the story of the schoolgirl who won the gold medal at the East African Games in Uganda, where now residents of Mukuthu area in Mwingi West constituency have celebrated her from Mukuthu Primary, has celebrated her for winning a gold medal in the East African Games, which were recently held in Uganda. And speaking during an interview, Regina Munanu Kitheka promised to do even better in future with her eyes set on the Olympics. Her victory has seen Christine Makau, a former athlete and wife to Kenyan decorated distance runner, and former world record holder Patrick Makau pledge to support Regina. Regina clocked her best time of 12.9 seconds to win the gold medal in the 100 meters for Kenya. This is what the KBC crew picked for us.
Nimeenjoy sana, walinicelebrate vizuri, sikudhania hivi.
Tungekuwa hata na wengi, lakini sasa hatuna kiwanja. Regina hata kiatu ya kukimbia hakuwa nayo. Tunajaribu kutafuta hata ya kutrain. Kwa hivyo tungepata wafadhili watusaidie kutengeneza uwanja, watusaidie hata kulipia karo ya Regina. Tungesaidiana na tutraini wengi.
Ile kitu ningeomba kaunti yetu ya Kitui ni waweze kusaidia watoto wetu na waweze kusaidia mashule, waweze kuweka viwanja za kutosha ili tuweze kunacha talents.
Great joy, of course, not only for Mukuthu area, but also for Kenya, for such a young girl doing so good at a regional competition. And with that, of course, it's a wrap for the sports segment of the Legends edition this Saturday evening, hoping that you'll be with us again throughout the weekend up till again Saturday for another Legends edition. From me, Tom William, I'm winding up, but before I hand over to Fayyaz to finish up the bulletin tonight, remember after the bulletin, we have the Bridge over Congo with Kibangu Mfumu, Winnie Marie-Jose, and DJ 254 Salim. On standby, your dancing shoes be there. Fayyaz, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Topi Liambila. As I always say, always at his best with the latest from the world of sports. Right, on to our final story tonight. We go to the Kenya-Germany relations. It may soon be possible for you to train in Kenya and work in Germany without undergoing a bridging course. This follows plans by Kenya and Germany to ink a labor agreement that will facilitate migration of technical and skilled labor from Kenya's technical, vocational and education training institutes at the upcoming Citizens Festival, dubbed Bürgerfest in Berlin, Germany. Regina Manyara engages Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Dr. Qureshi on Kenya-Germany relations.
81,000 plus tourists from Germany made their way to Kenya in the last year. Tonight, we're discussing matters of Kenya-Germany relations, and to take us through this conversation is none other than Principal Secretary Foreign Affairs, Dr. Qureshi. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Regina.
German-Kenya relations in the last 8 months, so to speak. From where you sit, how are we looking?
I think it's important to appreciate that this is a very long-standing relationship that spans 60 years.
But on the economic side, which is really important, is that Germany, as you know, is the largest economy in Europe. It accounts for 25% of Europe's economy. And vis-a-vis Kenya, Germany is the third exporter of our commodities coming out of Kenya. About 100 German companies are operating in Kenya, and they have invested in excess of 150 billion Kenya shillings, over this duration. So this is a very significant relationship. When it comes to matters tourism, I think you're completely right. Given the purchasing power of Germans, given their economic status, it means that they travel a great deal. And they have chosen traditionally Kenya as one of their very important destinations. We received, like you said, 81,000 tourists. That is not enough, although it's an increase by about 20,000 compared to the previous year. What we want to see is the doubling of these numbers over the next 1 year. And we want to do that partly leveraging on our cultural repertoire by reason of the fact that Kenya is the cradle of mankind. We'd like to really position that issue, and that's why as part of this Burger Fest, for example, we will be showcasing the Turkana board, which is this fossil that is, that is like the original, the original man.
You've actually picked something from my mind, and we think that Kenya, having been the only non-European country that is going to be participating in the Burger Fest, then that is a significant milestone. Actually opens a whole new spectrum when it comes to Kenya-German relations, as it were. The import of Kenya being part and parcel of this particular festival.
I think you are quite right, Regina, because in addition to showcasing the country's tourism offering, from our beautiful beaches to our wildlife offering, we will be showcasing our cultures and other offerings. But in addition to that, part of what makes Kenya competitive is our skill, the skill of our young people. Our education system continues to churn out some of the best brains. Our technical and vocational institutions are training many young people. And given German's aging population, given that demographic profile that they have, our young people can indeed find work in German industries, and it's not going to be low skill work. It's going to be high skill work, including in tech, and that's why, as part of this event, there will be a signing ceremony of a bilateral labor agreement between Germany and Kenya. Again, that will be the first bilateral labor agreement between Germany and an African country, which represents, as it were, another recognition of the depth of our relationship, but the confidence on our labor, the quality of our human capital, which I think, is really quite a plus for the country.
Now, after signing this particular labor agreement with the TVET, with TVETs to work in enterprises in Germany, have you lined up the areas in which now those who are going to benefit from this particular agreement are going to work into? Which areas are you looking at?
And so we're working very closely with the development component of Germany. So through GIZ, the German Development Agency, we are working on the entire ecosystem, on the entire value chain. And through our other state departments, there is a lot of training that is taking place within TVETs on language competence, and on the issue of curating a common curriculum for our engineering graduates, for our plumbers, for our builders, and all sorts of skills that the German market actually requires. And so we're working on a joint certification framework that would then mean that once you're trained by a Kenyan TVET, you will not only receive accreditation under Kenyan law or under Kenyan policy, but you will also be accredited, to work in Germany. So you will be market ready to be able to operate within that environment as well.
Where is government looking at to attract FDIs, if not setting up shop here in the country?
While indeed it is true that we are negotiating a bilateral labor agreement, and we've concluded that it will be signed for Kenyans to work in Germany, as a matter of fact, what is more exciting for many Kenyan young people is for German enterprises to set up here, so that those young people from Kenya can work in German manufacturing, corporations, German agricultural corporations, from wherever they are, from Kenya, from Nairobi, from Nakuru, from Eldoret, and from other countries, so to speak.
Language barrier is one challenge. And now, if we're going to be signing this labor agreement, the issue of that has to be addressed. Is it something that we have, or rather the agreement has looked into?
Absolutely, and that's why I was saying that we're working across the entire ecosystem. Now, there are two things that one must appreciate, that German is increasingly becoming multicultural, and so even though German is the national language, a lot of people in Germany speak English, especially the relatively younger generation. But what we are doing with the TVETs and through support from GIC and the Goethe Institute, which is the German Language Institute, and the German Embassy here, is that we are incorporating a language component in the curricula that is preparing these TVET graduates for the German market. And so we are working around the issue of addressing this difficult sort of language barrier, so to speak.
We're going to be going for this Boga Fest, the very fast. This is history in the making. For a person who is hearing it today for the first time, how are they likely to benefit or participate if they're not going to be taking that flight to Berlin?
They will have a meeting, the Kenyan diaspora in Germany will have a meeting with His Excellency the President, where they will engage on a number of issues, and they will be able to also showcase, at the event. But for Kenyans who will not be able to travel, I think there will be opportunity through the media to be able to follow this event. There are a number of platforms that will be live streaming the event. There will be live conversations. They can be able to make their comments. They can provide their input, and we will be running operations at the ministry as well as at the embassy in Berlin that will facilitate more engagement by Kenyans with this process. But in addition to that, it is our hope and our intention that at the end of this two-day event, it's really a very short event, it's a two-day event, we will bring it back here in Kenya. We will be able to have a session where we will be able to provide extensive feedback to the public about the outcomes and the opportunities that have emerged as a result of this visit, and we will be able then to engender more feedback as well from our young people here.
Mm-hmm. So away from Kenya-German relations, from the position you hold as chair to the committee, the delegation that is actually pushing for the AUC chairmanship, where are we at? I mean, it's about Kenya's foreign policy, right? Where are we at?
Well, I'm pleased to say that, as you know, 2 weeks ago, in the presence of heads of states of the East African community, President Ruto, at a ceremony hosted at State House, launched the candidature of Prime Minister Odinga. And so he presented him to the world as a candidate for the African Union Commission chair. Now, Mr. Odinga was at FOCAC in Beijing to do two things. Number one, to understand the partnership structure between China and Africa, because as AUC chair, one of the roles he will play is advancing that partnership. And so he needed to be part and parcel of the conversations that were taking place so that he would be able to have a deeper appreciation. We are extremely confident that the Mr. Odinga's candidature is progressing well. It's been well received. Over the next couple of weeks, we will be convening the larger East African community at the technical level, where we will be able to take a firm position to endorse his candidature, for example. There will be another reception that Mr. Odinga will host in Addis Ababa for the Permanent Representatives Council, which is the Council of Ambassadors based in Addis, where he will also be able to present his vision now. He will now discuss his vision. And on and on, as we head towards what in our view will be a very, very successful campaign.
Indeed. And on that positive note, we bring this conversation to a close. Kenya-German relations dating back several years, and now Kenya is on the precipice of history come next week as the first non-European country to be showcasing at the Citizens Festival in Berlin, Germany. I'm Regina Manyara, you're watching KBC Channel 1.
And that's all from our newsroom. I am Fayyaz. Qureshi, our sign language interpreter for tonight's edition was Byron Abuli. Thank you very much for watching and have a good night.